I'm on the job. Oh, geez, I'm feeling pretty rattled today. I'm noticing that my thoughts today have been really kind of, I think the word is pensive. Like I've just been thinking really hard about things. She said, never underestimate the necessity and power of the warm-up. There's always a way to grow and to heal. And there's always hope because of that.
Hello, welcome to channel on Action Explorations. Our topic today is concretizing to warm people up, part 3. And my guest today is L.Ciotola. Hello, Linda.
I'm happy to be here. This is one of my favorite topics because it's so much fun.
New online educational project alert. If you learn psychodrama and you like to learn it online with pre-recorded videos format, please check actionexplorations.education. Please see the detailed information in the announcement at the end of this video.
I love that it has both the role, the concretizing has the role of teaching about the brain in a very simple way, just not in a complex way, very, very simple. That's the triune brain. But also in the way that it helps by doing that they understand that their brain has been affected by the trauma. And so it's not anything inherently the matter with them, it's what happened to them. So if that makes sense, we will start with one of my favorite auxiliaries. It takes up a lot of the screen. So this is the Stegosaurus, which of course is from the dinosaur family.
Hi.
Hi. And I'm going to be that role now. So I represent the reptilian brain. And I am very connected to things that go on in the body that most people aren't even aware of. And so, like for example, you don't have to think about breathing. I mean, you can if you want to, but you just kind of breathe normally all day long and don't even think about it. That's part of my job, and your heart keeps beating and, all kinds of things keep happening because I'm on the job. I'm on the job. So that's me. I'm the reptilian brain, and I'm very connected to the body. So when people check in with me, they say, I am, let's say, I am Nellie's body, and today I am feeling, and then that would be followed by I'm feeling tired, I didn't sleep well, or I had a restless night, or I feel pretty good today, I had a good night's sleep, but I wish I could have slept later, or my knee is bothering me, or whatever the body has to say, the body will say in this part. And then the person will move on to my very favorite furry auxiliary, whose name is Tele, T-E-L-E, which of course means that two-way empathy between people. Hi, I'm Tele. And you can probably already guess that I am the limbic system. And I am really, 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 really connected to feelings, lots and lots and lots of feelings. And also, I'm the part of the brain that says if something is safe or not safe. So I kind of sniff it out. You know what I mean? I like sniff it out. Is it safe? Is it not safe? And I'm very good at having a whole repertoire of feelings. So then the person would come up and, take this role or stand over it or hold it or whatever they feel warmed up to do and say, my limbic system today, I realize I actually did something my limbic system liked this morning. I did an hour of yoga and meditation, and I feel really kind of calm and settled today. Or it might be something different. It might be like, oh, geez, like I'm feeling pretty rattled today because the phone went off at 2 o'clock in the morning, and even though it was a wrong number, it really rattled me, and I was awake the rest of the night because I practically leapt out of my skin when the phone rang at 2 o'clock in the morning, because my whole system just started to go like this, and I think I'm going to need a nap later today. I think I'm going to need a nap. So that is the limbic system. And then we have the frontal cortex. Okay, so I have a right side, and I also have a left side, but I am where the thoughts are. And so sometimes I've noticed that what I think actually has a big impact on the limbic system and on the reptilian brain. So I have a lot of power. So I'm noticing that my thoughts today have been really kind of, I think the word is pensive. Like I've just been thinking really hard about things and trying to make some big decisions. And that's kind of where I am today. I'm just thoughtful and thinking about some big decisions I have coming up. So that's where I am. So then I would have the person go to either an eagle or a butterfly or something that's able to be like high up and looking over, a bird, something that represents they would call it in therapeutic spiral the observing ego, or it might be called your compassionate inner witness. But it's the part of the self that's able to observe with compassion and no judgment everything that they have just heard and seen. And they can tell the client, what I noticed was, I noticed your body this, I noticed your limbic system that, I noticed your frontal cortex this, and I'm wondering if there's anything that I noticed that might be helpful to you. And then there can be role reversals between the client and the compassionate observing ego. So, and then that's the whole warm-up, and then you can go right into action. So I just wanted to share how some amazing things are created by concretizing. And I was thinking back on one of my training groups. We were starting a new session, and we were starting, of course, by concretizing our strengths and, removing obstacles and doing everything in a concretizing way. But the group, of course, was working, and so there were lots of objects in the room. And a nice spacious room, plenty of room. We had scarves, we had furry auxiliaries, we had pillows, we had little stones and big stones, we had magic wands. But after everyone got to place their objects in the room, on the floor, the entire shape without any pre-design turned out to be a heart. And things like that just happen so often that it always touches me, but it doesn't even surprise me anymore. Because it's like there's something about the energy that's created when we bypass those defenses and we become creative in our warm-up. I remember something I learned from my very first trainer, who was my primary psychodrama trainer. Her name's she's still with us. Her name is Dr. Joanne Thacker, and she taught me something really important. She said, never underestimate the necessity and power of the warm-up. She said, if it takes you 2 hours and 50 minutes to warm up your protagonist, all the work you need to have happen will happen in 10 minutes. But if you rush the warm-up and people are not warmed up, you can have all the time in the world and you will not have a good drama. And that really has stayed with me, the real importance and how crucial warm-up is. And so I think that example of my training group, they probably spent a good, 45 minutes, 50 minutes as a group, putting down their objects and, saying what their strengths were and their hopes and all of that. And yet the power of it, was so great that when they saw that they had spontaneously created a heart for holding the group, the warm-up was complete. Everybody felt safe and warmed up and ready to go.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's interesting that what your teacher told, I do not remember who exactly told this. It's like the same words in a different way. It's like there is no such thing as resistance, but there is such thing like,
too,
lack of warm-up.
Exactly. In fact, that was another thing that I learned early on. There's no such thing as resistance. People just need more time for warm-up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I love that because it's depathologizing, because instead of saying, this person's going nowhere, they're just putting up resistance, then, I say to myself instead, what do I need to do to help this person warm up? What would help this person warm up more? What would help this person feel safer? Like it's turned on me. It's not about blaming the person who isn't warmed up and who's putting up defenses or putting up, signs of resistance. It's about looking at myself and saying, how can I provide a space of safety and spontaneity so that the person can become warmed up and move on and to do healing work.
And when you were telling this about this question to yourself, how can I help? It sounds for me like it's also warm up for you, right? In the role of therapist.
Yeah.
When you ask like this type of question, warm you up for.
Exactly. Yes, it's mutual. And I think a lot of that too, Anna, has to do with the mirror neurons. We have those mirror neurons and so there's an energetic connection. I love Moreno's description of Telly as two-way empathy. And I think that the warm-ups can help fire up the mirror neurons and create two-way empathy, which means that, the director is then tuned into the group members, and the group members then feel safe with the director, and that's how healing work happens. Yeah, I love that. So my practice, in my practice, I work a lot here at home and of course on Zoom these days. But when I'm working, when I have actual, in-person sessions, I happen to find a great blessing was the fact that a couple of years ago, we were able to, after we lost our golden retriever, that I always think about my little Telly here. I think about, when I see Telly, I think about our golden retriever. But when she passed, we were able to get a trained therapy dog who's a trained, she's also a trained helping dog. And she was up for adoption because the person that she had been helping got allergic to her. She's a collie. She looks just like the old-time television dog Lassie. And that's what her name is. And so I love having her as a real furry auxiliary when I'm working in person with people, because her sense of empathic attunement is exquisite, and I don't have to tell her anything. She knows exactly what to do. She knows when to stay in the compassionate witness role or the mirror position. She knows when she needs to be a double and come in close. She knows when she needs to be playful. She knows when she needs to do limbic resonance and look into somebody's eyes. It's just really, really moving after all of my work with my furry auxiliaries that really, like these guys, to have a real one. So that's been great. I've also loved I love the fact that, you know, we are learning to do more on Zoom. I still love doing things in person, both individually. I like Psychodrama Edu very much, and I do some of that online now with people. And I like doing workshops, but I have to say my preference is really about working in person. In person, it's really my preference. But I, you know, I also love to write. You know, I loved co-authoring the book with Karen Carnabucci and writing articles for the journal and that. So that's another part of my practice. And I really am excited about something that I was able to do with my colleague Nancy Alexander, who is a social worker, master's in social work, and a brilliant analyst, and had worked for decades and decades and decades with trauma survivors. And she and I met, and when we met because one of her clients came to see me, and I said, "Do you have a therapist?" And she said, "I do." I said, "Well, I will need permission to speak with your therapist." And the therapist was Nancy, and Nancy asked me if I would please come because I was doing lifestyle counseling, working with this person on her eating disorder. And we had a family session, and Nancy and I had immediate tele, and we ended up working together with her clients, doing workshops using mostly the therapeutic spiral model because they all had very severe trauma histories. And when Nancy retired in 2015, she said to me, "I think we should not let this work die with us. We should, you know, create something." So we created this program called ACTS, which is an online program that has PowerPoints and Nancy and I teaching, and it has a full 2.5-hour psychodrama with sharing and processing.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that's been exciting to have. It took us 2 years actually to do that because, you know, we weren't, neither of us was very technologically savvy. So we had a tech person, and we have a team, a beautiful team of auxiliaries. But I feel really glad that at this stage in my life, I was able to leave something that will be here, you know, after I pass or after I retire, but I can't ever imagine retiring, actually.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. I have loved this time with you.
Thank you. And if you could please just, like for summarizing our time together, could you please say just your message to the viewers?
My message to the viewers is to be gentle with yourself and to realize that if you have a role that's fatiguing you or wearing you out, that you always have the option to transform that role. Always. It's never too late. There's always the option to create new roles and transform old roles and to go down a different path that makes your life more meaningful. And I love that about psychodrama, that there's always a way to grow and to heal. And there's always hope because of that. So thank you.
Linda, thank you so much for this wonderful co-creation, the great time of co-creation. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video. And namaste. If you'd like to learn psychodrama online, please go to actionexplorations.education. This is my project. It's my baby. So I'm working with international trainers. They are doing their programs teaching psychodrama online. Each program has lecture part, case part, and evaluation part. L.Ciotola is there in the frame of therapeutic spiral model modules. We're going to do with them 20 modules, and at least in the first module she's going to be there, so please check it out. And we were talking about creating another programs with her. Just keep an eye on the other videos, and I will provide the information on that.